Yep, against very tough competition. This first match is going to be a good one with Dietmar Trillus as his opponent.
Now, they've had 3 meetings in the last 3 years, and Pagni holds a 2-1 advantage in those meetings. You saw Dietmar Trillus leading them out. Dietmar, the 3rd-seeded archer here in the compound finals, going up against the 6th-seeded Sergio Pagni of Italy. Pagni, 32 years old, comes from Florence. Works in an archery shop there, as you see Laura Longo, his teammate, looking on. And there's a good look at Dietmar Trillus, who's 53 years old, ranked 3rd in the world, heading into the World Cup Finals. He was the world champion back in 2007, but had a tough time in Shanghai. We'll talk about that in a moment. His opponent today will be Sergio Pagni, who comes in ranked 5th in the world. And as you said, Brady, the only athlete who's repeated as a World Cup final winner.
Yeah, and that's very impressive. I mean, it's just like a world championship, or maybe a little bit tougher. You have your top 8 guys over a course of a whole entire year coming here to try to win this, and to do it 2 years running is pretty impressive. And you know, we were talking about Dietmar having a little bit of a rough time in China. He did shoot against Rio, shot a perfect 150. That's kind of running into a wall, and
it's kind of tough to beat perfection.
Yeah.
And he had 1 arrow that didn't count, just as we saw in an earlier match with Mahtab Parsamir, where she scored no points. He hit the scoreboard with one of his shots in Shanghai and didn't score on that shot. So
yeah, that's a little rough, and we don't know what happened to it. He was laughing about it, and
one of those things. As you look at Sergio Pagni from Italy,
starts off with a 9 right.
Pagni, who won the World Cup final last year in Edinburgh and the year before in Copenhagen. And there's Dietmar.
Dietmar shooting at 10. That one will catch, I believe, and both archers starting off on the right side, which is good to see that they're learning from the women and not shooting their first arrows left. Another 9 on the right.
So back to Dietmar Trillus, and Trillus with a 10.
There you go. 2 points.
Trillus coming off that silver medal performance in Shanghai. And he takes a 1-point lead, but Pagni answers.
Getting dialed in on his last shot, shooting an X. Dietmar shooting a 9 on his last shot for what I'm going to say is a 29 for a 1-point lead, but the judge has to call Dietmar's first arrow.
So Dietmar Trillus, who's been around a long time, 53 years old, has been at this game for a while. Won the bronze medal at the 2nd stage in Turkey this year. And as we mentioned, made it to the World Cup last year in Edinburgh, where he finished 7th. But he's won the whole shooting match before.
And Dietmar does pick up that first 10, so a 1-point lead over Sergio.
So Trillus up by 1 after the first 3 arrows. Trillus and Pagni here in our 2nd quarterfinal match. In case you're just joining us, in the first men's match, it was Rio Wild of the United States coming from behind against Paul Titcher of Germany, winning that match. There you see Erika Anschutz's father at the top of your screen with the cap on. His daughter has already advanced to the semifinals as Pagni gets set for his first shot of the 2nd end.
10.
Good start for Pagni.
Dietmar shooting a 9 high, and they're all tied up.
You get the feeling this will be a back and forth match.
Yeah, I mean, just both these archers are great shots, and Sergio wants it really bad, and Dietmar wants it too. And shooting another 10 there. Sergio's just a strong shooter. I've watched him a lot over the last couple of years, and he's tough to beat.
Maybe a matter of who blinks first.
And there's a 10 by Dietmar.
So we're tied up at 48.
Then a 9 just out, shooting a good group, but still on the right side. Needs to move aside a little bit, and Dietmar can take the match back with a 10, and he does it.
He knows an opening when he sees it and takes advantage of it, and so Dietmar Trillus of Canada, up by 1 after the first end, maintains his 1-point lead. as we head to the third end here in Istanbul, which is bidding for the 2020 Olympic Games. And it's certainly a city that seems to be fully capable of hosting an event of that magnitude. Of course, you'll be in London next year for the Olympic Games.
Yep,
and
hopefully
getting ready for that.
Yeah, we have a lot of traveling here coming up, but our first Olympic trials actually start next weekend in Texas, College Station. So
from Istanbul to College Station, Texas.
Yep, and then to Olympic test event in London to Pan Am Championships down in Guadalajara, Mexico. So kind of a last long stretch of the season, but should be a lot of fun.
Sergio Pagni.
Let's come up here and shoot a 10. Which he does. Still hanging on that right side. He moved his side a couple of clicks there, it looks like.
So a little bit of an adjustment for Pagni. Results in a 10.
And Dietmar shooting a 9 up top again.
So here we go, back and forth.
A tied match.
Pagni talks about training. He says, I only practice about 3 or 4 days a week. More of a mind game for me.
That's an 8 low.
And that is an important shot in this match. Could
it is. That
turn out to be a pivotal shot.
That could be the deciding factor. And Dietmar shoots a 10, catching the line there.
So Trillus now goes up by 2. And Pagni needs to answer with a 10.
And he does. So Dietmar still needs to pretty much shut the door on this end and shoot a 10 here and gain another point with only 2 ends left. And he shoots a 9. So they both, Dietmar's still 1 point up and tying that end, and so Sergio's 8 doesn't really bother him too much this end, still only 1 point back, but if it's 1 point that he loses by at the end of this match, he's gonna be kicking himself.
Yeah, that was an opportunity, maybe a missed opportunity for Dietmar Trillus to really open up some daylight between himself and Sergio Pagni. Pagni reached the mixed team bronze medal match in China and Shanghai. Did win a mixed team silver medal in Ogden in stage 3, as well as the bronze medal in the men's individual competition in Ogden, where he defeated Rio Wild. But he's in a tough one right now, taking on this man, Dietmar Trillus of Canada, who won the bronze medal at the second stage in Turkey this year. Also picked up a silver medal with his teammates at the World Championships in Torino. You guys do get around.
We do. It's a lot of traveling, but I mean, we pretty much become a big family doing this, and even internationally, everyone's all good friends, and it's a good time.
So down by 1 to start the fourth end, Pagni with a 10.
That's what he needs, and finally shot one on the left side, which is good. That one...
Tough to tell.
That one's close. I can't tell from this angle.
It'll be a judge's call. 2 more arrows here in this fourth end. In the men's compound competition. Wow.
And there's another 10. Sergio's starting to lay on the pressure. Dietmar needs to shoot a 10. And he shoots a 9 high. So if his first arrow stays a 9, he's down 1 right now, but I can't tell if it's touching or not.
3 out of 3.
10. There you go, Sergio. Good shooting. And then Dietmar needs to shoot a 10 here.
Pressure on Dietmar
And
Trillus.
he does. Just inside on the bottom.
But in this fourth end, Sergio Pagni picks up 2 points, and Sergio starting to surge in this match. Good look at Sergio Pagni.
We'll just have to wait the judge's call. Looks like she's calling it right now, and it's going to be, maybe they'll call it.
They'll look at it very closely. They did call it a 9.
It's going to stay at 9, so Dietmar's down
by 1.
Down 1 now.
Yep.
Going into the last 3 arrows.
So a 2-point swing in that fourth end for Sergio Pagni of Italy as he tries to win this match. As we said, There have been 3 meetings between these two archers over the last 3 years, and Pagni has won 2 of the 3. Dietmar Trillus trying to even the count, but he's in a tough spot right now, trailing by 1, heading to the 5th and deciding end. Of course, it may not be decided in this end. It could very well end up going to a shoot-off.
Yep, and the wind's picking up a little bit, and Dietmar's shooting first. If he gets step up here and shoot a couple of 10s in this wind like that,
there you go.
He still has a chance at it.
Pagni wants to maintain his lead. He needs to shoot a 10 as you take a look at the compound
there you
bow.
go, 10-10. Maintaining his 1-point lead with Dietmar shooting X, doing what he needs to do.
Dietmar keeping the heat on Sergio Pagni.
See if Sergio can answer. And there's an X.
There's veteran experience right there. And Dietmar with perhaps his final shot.
Shooting a 10 like he needs to, and Sergio needs to shoot a 10 here to try to make a three-peat.
Or at least give himself a chance for a three-peat and remain alive.
He
and there he
shoots
does
a
it.
10-10. There you go. Both archers shooting a perfect score. It's what it's all about, and Sergio moves on into the semifinals.
Tremendous shooting by Sergio Pagni, who turned it around in the 4th end. He was trailing by 1 after 3 ends, but a 2-point swing in that 4th end put him up by 1, and once he got ahead, he wasn't going to give up that lead.
Yeah, and that 8 didn't hurt him at all. So, just anything could happen, and he shot good. He recovered from that 8 and kept pounding 10s, and that's what you got to do.
145 out of a possible 150 points for Sergio Pagni of Italy, 32 years old, ranked 5th in the world, upsets the man who came in ranked 3rd in the world, Dietmar Trillus. And so Dietmar will sit back and watch the rest of the World Cup Finals, and you see it's a 1-point victory for Sergio Pagni. So the Italians doing pretty well so far here in the quarterfinals.